Good day and welcome to episode 3 of Drinking Beer with Don. I'm Don. So we've so far in episodes 1 and 2 already rated 8 beer. Some really good, some not so good. So we shall see what this next episode brings as far as new beer from British Columbia. I'm going to go out on a limb here that all the beer in the calendar are from BC. That's not that much of a guess, because the first calendar was all from out BC, the second calendar was all from the island. This year, they've expanded it back to the BC writ large. So today's beer, and of course this is brought to you also by Cascadia, because it's the Cascadia Beer Advent Calendar. So beer number 9 today, it's the 9th of December, is from Herald Street Brewworks out of Victoria. There's not a lot, in fact there's really nothing on the can to explain what we're going to get, except that it's called a Spoon Bay IPA, 6% alcohol, and that's it. Nothing else on the can, nothing else on the website. So it's an IPA. So before we get to drinking it, this is what we're looking at here. It looks like an IPA, and it smells like an IPA. You can definitely get the hops and even a bit of lemony smell, a bit of citrusy, I suppose. So let's find out what we got going on for them. Going in cold, like we have on a couple other beer. You can see it was a good head. I poured it. It was actually domed a little bit, but now it's come down. So here we go. As far as IPAs go, it's medium to heavy medium on the hops. So I'm going to say IBUs at least 25, maybe 30, I'm guessing, but that's what I'm thinking. It definitely has a strong hop flavor, semi-strong. I've had stronger. And it has, the afterwards, after you've let it sort of settle down, you get the hops on the middle to back of your tongue. So it is definitely a modern IPA, because if you recall, something like Keith's from the East Coast, that's an IPA, but that's old school, which is a lot milder. Well, okay, I'm comparing this. I've had local IPAs like say from Hoyne or Vancouver Island breweries out of Victoria, and they're as good as this. And they're regular beer. They're nothing fancy. So this is going to be in the 7s. It's a good beer. It's not a great beer. It's an okay beer. Sorry, it's not a strong beer. Yeah, I come back to it. It tastes like an IPA. So it does what it's supposed to do. 7 point... Oh, wait for it. 7.7. That's what I'm going to give this. It's not bad IPA. So there we are. Cheers. Good day and welcome to day 10, December 10th of the Cascadia Beer Advent Calendar. So obviously beer number 10. And it's from Category 12 out of Victoria. One of my favorite breweries, because in fact I think in the last 2 years Category 12 has had the number 1 or 2 beer, in my opinion, for the last 2 years. Today's beer is a continuum. They call it a barley wine. I'm not exactly sure what that is. But here's the kicker. It's 11.5% alcohol, 40 IBU. You're going, oh my goodness, this is going to be a strong one. So it says, this is their notes. We brewed our barley wine in fall 2021 with 100% barley malt grown and malted by Field 5 farms on the Sandwich Peninsula. So local barley. Started a year ago. Freshly emptied Barbados rum barrels then housed the beer, allowing the rich fruity flavors of the rum and notes of vanilla to meld seamlessly with the barley wine. Alright, sounding good so far. The resulting smooth and mellow flavor is the perfect celebratory offering to our 8th anniversary. So, I guess Category 12, one of my favorite places, has been around 8 years. A year in the medium toasted American white oak barrels have allowed the richness of the barley wine to mellow and become enmeshed with the unmistakable sweetness of oak, resulting in a chorus of flavor that will envelope you in warmth. Okay, so right away you already know I'm a little prejudging this because I love Category 12. It's a strong beer, which you know I like. And this one's been aged for a year. Oddly enough, talked to my buddy Rob, who you may recall from episode 1. He helped me rate another dark beer, quadruple out of Port Alberni, and he liked it. I liked it a little bit more. He doesn't like this one. Neither does his wife Mary Lou. So on the one hand, I'm expecting great things. On the other hand, I've already heard somebody says they don't like it. So, well, let's find out. Very little head. Even when I poured it, there's very little head. But you find that often with strong beers. Even in Belgium, strong beers don't have much head. I guess there's too much else going on to let it bubble up. I get almost, you know what? I almost get grapes out of it. I don't get much beeriness. So let's find out. There's a lot of flavor. There's a lot of beer, a flavor that you wouldn't call a beer necessarily. I get the oak. Oh yeah. I get a lot of aging going on in something. I even get the sweetness from the rum that they mentioned in the rum barrel. I like it. I like it a lot, but it's not, I wouldn't call this a beer. This is more like a taste experience to the extreme, but to me, on the good side. Where if you remember, there was a couple of beer ago, certainly the gingerbread ESB, where I said, yeah, that's an experiment, but I don't like it. This is actually I like. It's very rich. It's very smooth. If you want to try something that is unique, strong, sweet, smooth, this is it. Even though it says IBU 40, I don't taste a single hop in this puppy. It must be because it's being overpowered by everything else. I really like this beer. It's going to be in the 9s. Because, following my own logic, it is very strong, it is very unique. Sure, it's not a beer, but if you think it's an after-dinner aperitif, for example, or even something to be sipped and enjoyed like a fine whiskey or a fine brandy, this is it. Just put the fact away that it comes in a beer can. The can doesn't even say beer, it says barley wine. Okay, go with that. Yeah. Again, okay, I may be prejudging this because I love Category 12, but this does not disappoint. This is Category 12 par excellence, in my opinion. And it is the best beer I've had in the case so far. I have to say 9.4. I really like this beer. 9.4 it is. I've raised the bar to that. So if something else blows my socks off higher than this, it's going to be closer to 10. Because this is a really good beer at 9.4. You guys have a great one. Cheers. Day 11. Beer number 11, December 11th for the Cascadia Beer Advent Calendar. Now today is a bit of a beer. Today is a beer that makes me afraid. Let me explain why. Okay, first of all, it's from Ile Sauvage Brewing Company out of Victoria. And they call it, I don't know if you noticed the can here. We'll see it on the screen there. They call it a power ale, like Powerade. And even at the bottom of the can, it says sports beer. So right there, I'm afraid. The can goes on to say it's brewed with goji berries and orange. And that's all the can says. Oh, and it's 4.5% alcohol. So not a strong beer. But then the website goes on to say Ile Sauvage, and if anyone speaks French, will probably know that means like wild. It is. It's Wild Island. So Ile Sauvage, Wild Island Brewery, is a dual reference to the wilderness of Vancouver Island and their main focus on Belgian-style wild ales and sour beers. See, now I've had several Belgian wild ales, and I like them. I've had several sour beers. I don't like them. So I'm curious to see where this is going to fit. This is the beer. It foamed up like crazy when I was pouring it, so I don't even have the whole can in here yet right now. I'm going to try to top it up a bit. I haven't tried it, haven't sniffed it, so here we go. It's hoppy. And I don't get much citrus. I got something, but maybe it's those goji berries. I don't know. Okay, here we go. Yeah. I was right to be afeared. This is weird. This is a little strange. Because, okay, they say pale ale. It tastes more like an IPA to me because of the amount of hops. But anyway, it's definitely a pale ale in flavor. And you notice it's got this haziness. And the can also said it's got wheat malt in it. So it's a wheat beer. I get that. And that will give it a bit of citrus flavor. But I don't get the orange. The color's a little orangey. I don't really get much orange, and I don't get much... Again, I don't know what a goji berry is, so... It all matches my shirt, doesn't it? No. I don't know. I'm not liking it. I'm not hating it. It's kind of in between. It is hoppy, a little. I would guess around the IBU 20 range, maybe 25, I'm guessing. This beer doesn't tell, it can't decide what it wants to be. I'm not sure how they come up with sports beer, because it's not something I can imagine drinking and then go and playing ball or something. And I don't know what they're aiming for. It's okay beer. Barely. It's going to be low 7s. I wanted to like it more, I suppose, but I was afraid. 7.2. That's what this is going to get. So, yeah. If you want something different, I suppose you could try this, but I can't in all honesty recommend it. 7.2. Cheers. Good day, eh? And welcome to Drinking Beer with Don and Rob. Yeah, Rob offered that we would do this episode, this beer rating at his place. So we're sitting here on Cotton Point, Beachcomber area in News Bay. So don't drink that yet. We're not ready yet. I got to talk about the beer. Today's beer, well, first of all, it's day 12. This is day 12, beer 12 of the Cascadia Advent Beer Calendar. And today we're drinking from the Tofino Brewing Company, a Spruce Tree Ale. You'll see that go close up of the can on the screen, hopefully. It's they call it a golden ale, and this is out of Tofino. I think I already said that, out of Tofino. No, I didn't. This is out of Tofino, BC.
Tough.
Well, I've been there a couple times. Great place, definitely a bit rugged.
Yep. Yeah, I've been there a few times myself.
Oh yeah.
2 of my sons used to surf there all the time.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So alcohol, 6.5%. It's
Yep.
a bit on the stronger side. And the can says this. It says it's actually between the can and the website. It's a deep gold color. The body is medium, fresh and juicy with a dry, resinous finish, conditioned with locally harvested spruce tips. So, that's the thing about resinous. I like a wine called Retsina from Greece because it's got a pine resin in it. Other people hate it. This could be one of those love it or hate it beers. What do you think?
The proof is in the pudding.
Right. So, should we do it? Cheers.
I like Retsina too.
All right.
Let's have some Retsina after
Let's
this.
give this a shot.
Prost.
Prost.
This is the Lars Schwarzwald 25th anniversary. The base closed in 1993. Cheers.
Ooh. I like it.
It's got a bite, eh?
I like it quite a bit. It is a little hoppy. That's okay, right?
It's not bad. It's a nice hoppy.
It's got a nice citrus taste, and I can get the touch of the spruce tips. I get the bit of the resin, just a bit of the pine resin, right? Not overpowering.
Not bad at all.
What do you think?
I think it's good. I was going to put some pine in it. I got all sorts of spruce out here too.
Yeah. Oh, we could add more spruce to it.
Well, yeah, it's a fine beer. Cheers, bud.
Cheers. So now we got So as I say, the body or the cans. It's right. It is a bit juicy. It's a bit fruity, and it is dry. And I definitely get the resin. It's not a strong flavor. It's actually quite refreshing.
Yeah, for a 6.5, it doesn't have a lot of kick, which is kind of nice, eh?
I could drink a few of these.
Because a lot of these potent beers are pretty hard to drink right off.
Well, I've been to the Tofino Brewery, and they have a nice selection on tap.
So have I.
But this is going to be in the 8s.
I guess I've been to this brewery too. Then there's only one brewery in Tofino, isn't there?
I think
there's one in Yuki now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So for you people back east that don't understand anything on the West Coast, I just mentioned Yuki. That's Ucluelet. So Ucluelet and Tofino are twin towns.
So I'm going to give it an 8. What do you think? Is it an 8?
Yeah, sure. It's an 8.
I really like it a lot.
Give it an 8.1.
What do you think? I would have got higher. I'm going to go higher.
Okay.
It's going to be a high 8s for me. This is one of my favorite beers so far. But I mean, it's not in the 9s, good, but I really like it.
Okay, 8.2.
Mr. Stingy score. I'm going to give it an 8.7.
Okay, because it's in the CFB LAR mug.
There you go.
I'll give it an 8.5.
Yeah. Okay, we can split the difference then, and I can give... Anyway, 8.6. 8.7. We'll figure it out. We like it.
Cheers.
Cheers. Well, this last 4 days have been a good, selection of beer. Had a great beer from Category 12 with their Continuum. And then today's beer was also a wonderful, pleasant surprise with the spruce-tipped beer out of Tofino. The only one that was, I really couldn't recommend it, was a Sport Ale, or the Sport Beer out of Ile Sauvage. But that's just the way it goes. So, hope you enjoyed the 4 beers I got to try, and you got to hear what I had to say about them for Cascadia Advent Calendar. And let's see what happens the next episode. You guys, y'all have a great one. Cheers.